All right, then this depleted New Zealand side in the mood to make history. They are eyeing their first ever ODI series win in India. Have they done well enough with the bat, having lost the toss and being put into bat? This is what they managed. A 200 plus mammoth partnership between MNP in MP, Mitchell and Phillips together, giving this innings a fillip, the solidity that it needed. And towards the end, they really took off when India were penalised, of course, in that last over as well. 10 of that last over from Siraj. 99 in the last 10, 220 between overs number 26 and 50, 337 on the board. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. Ajinkya, Rahane and Zaheer will tell us if 337 are enough. As per stats, slightly above par, but given the conditions and the resources that India have, above par, below par, or par.
Well, 337 is 337, isn't it? You know, you can make a match out of it. There's no doubt about it. When you put in context to what happened in the initial phase of the game, maybe India will be disappointed with the kind of effort they have put on the field, especially after the kind of start they got, which is 2 wickets for nothing. Put New Zealand on the back foot, winning the toss, bowling first, you know, everything till about 15-20 overs going India's way. But once again, Daryl Mitchell, brilliant 100. Will Young and Daryl Mitchell partnership just steadied the ship for New Zealand a bit, but Glenn Phillips just taking it to another level. I think, you know, all those factors makes you wonder that, okay, you know, what India could have done differently. And I think, you know, maybe the rotation of the bowlers, maybe the fact that Daryl Mitchell was there, that put pressure on Shubman as well to utilize his bowlers, maybe, you know, holding Kuldeep back a tad bit longer was giving him like a shortish spell initially, just 3 overs, and then, you know, holding him, hoping that the partnership is going to be broken. Ravindra Jadeja being introduced at 30 over mark, you know, all those things may be a bit of signs of a cluttered thinking, you know. I got that feeling, but 337, New Zealand will be very happy. It's a great effort, and India will be thinking that where did we actually miss a trick or two to contain New Zealand.
47 for 2 after 10, 71 for 3 after 15. Did you see this coming? Did you have an inkling that these two could do well enough to take them as far as 337?
See, especially Mitchell, the way he's going on about his batting throughout this series was amazing. The partnership, what they had, Young and Mitchell, and then with Glenn Phillips and Mitchell was amazing. No, New Zealand will be happy, as he said. No, 53 for 3, and from there 337. No, chasing down any target 300 plus, and series is decider. So I thought New Zealand will be happy. I thought Shubman missed a trick by only bowling 3 overs of Kuldeep in the middle overs, and then he was waiting till 37, 38 overs. And Jadeja, again, he rightly mentioned, coming in 30th over. So spinners' roles, I thought, even the boundaries are smaller, spinners' roles are really crucial. Those guys can actually get to those wickets. That's where India, I thought, went slightly wrong. But yes, looking at the target, small ground, India will definitely look to chase down this total.
Only 12 overs of spin from India. We'll come to the bowling just a bit, but credit where it's due. This incredible partnership between Mitchell and Phillips. And one of the key features, Zach, you will love to know this, that 102 singles and 1 double, which means they really had to dig deep and keep the scoreboard going. They were going at run a ball pretty much through the partnership, and it's towards the end where they upped the run scoring a little bit.
Well, this is a 6-hitting ground, isn't it? So you can actually make up for the dot balls or the singles. But I think strike rotation was something which was very impressive by both these guys, absorbing pressure and then to be able to hit those big shots. It was just a perfect combination of that, isn't it? And these numbers are also giving you that story that how well they pace their innings. Daryl Mitchell just continuing from the previous innings. Terrific numbers he's put up against this Indian lineup. He'll be very proud of that fact. But Glenn Phillips equally supporting that and taking the attack to the opposition. Solid partnership, a match-defining one for New Zealand, you can say.
Ajinkya Rahane, apart from being a successful cricketer, is also an investor in various companies. If Daryl Mitchell was a startup, you'd straight away buy a stake, right? Given the numbers he's racking up for the last few months.
Absolutely. The way he's going at this moment, any team would love to have him in the side. Great work ethics, great attitude. proper team man, and amazing to see what he has done in last 3 ODIs, but also the consistent performance he's been showing for the New Zealand team.
Perhaps a lesson in there for young cricketers, boys and girls, that even on a pitch like this, where the general belief is that, oh, lots of runs, batting paradise, but he didn't really seem to play any reckless shots. It seemed like controlled aggression. Is that the feeling you got as well when he hit that big six off Kuldeep's first ball once again?
See, what I liked about him, he actually stayed true to his game. Backed his proper cricketing shots, strike rotation, absorbing the pressure, 53 for 3. And in ODI cricket, we generally tend to bog down. But I thought how well he rotated the strike was amazing. And then taking on the spinners.
Yeah.
First ball 6 to Kuldeep stepping down was amazing. But then we spoke about guys who get set and getting the big score on the boards. Mitchell did that and Glenn-Phillips did that. They batted well, but I think the 18 to 100 for the New Zealand, from the New Zealand point of view, was really amazing.
In the past, we've seen him try the reverse sweep and the sweep. Let's take a look at where he scored his runs today. A lot of them in front of square, as you can see, 30 on the onside. In fact, most of his runs in front of square. What does that tell you, Zach, about his approach today?
Well, that's typical Daryl Mitchell wagon wheel, isn't it? Maybe tilting more towards the onside this time, but pretty much down the ground is something which he looks at. Another fact which is suggesting that on this kind of a ground, on this kind of a pitch, you can actually take the bowlers down the ground and back yourself. So I think that is something which was working in his favor. Today he was quick on taking those just back of the length deliveries towards mid wicket, and I think that's why that green markers which you're putting there in terms of that percentage going higher on this particular ground.
106 for Glenn-Phillips as well. A pretty solid strike rate for Glenn-Phillips, who largely was going around a ball. It's towards the end when he went for the big shots. Once again, this man's focus a little bit more on the offside as compared to his partner.
I thought, what I liked about Glenn-Phillips, he started off the winning inning really well, but he was more aggressive than Mitchell. The partnership, I thought they complemented each other really well. He was rotating the strike, using the footwork, going deep into the crease, creating that offside play on for the spinners. So that was, I think I like that really well. And more important part about Phillips was the intent. From ball number 1. He looked really confident and his intent was absolutely positive.
Let's take a look at India's bowling card. Now, in that last game, one of the criticisms of Shubman Gill was that he kept bowling the spinners. He didn't bring back Siraj or Harshit Rana. Today, he did all that and it didn't work. He only bowled 12 overs of spin. Kuldeep Yadav got clobbered for 9 of his first over. One of those was a 6. Was it a defensive move from Shubman to not bowl Kuldeep? Was that fear that Mitchell will run away with the game and go after Kuldeep?
Well, I think more than Kuldeep, it's Ravindra Jadeja's inclusion in the bowling attack very late. I think maybe the thought was to give Nitish Reddy a bit more game time, bit more overs under his belt in a match situation. But I think maybe because of that, you get a little hamstrung with your options, isn't it? If you bring in your second spinner at over number 30, then pretty much that he's not going to complete his quota of overs. So the option gets created when you actually use the spinners a little early. So as soon as the power play 1 is over, 10 over 11 over mark, you look to bring in one spinner there, maybe squeeze in 1-2 overs, and then that gives you freedom of using a seam option. It can be Nitish Reddy or your main bowlers. The thought was basically after you taken 2 early wickets, you always have that temptation. Okay, the fast bowlers are working today. Let me try and create 1 more wicket here. If I'm able to take the wicket here, the game is going to open up. But when it doesn't, then it just kind of puts you in a situation which can create more pressure. I think that's what happened today. But to me, when you're looking at that bowling card, I think Siraj was the pick of the bowlers. He usually prefers to bowl with the new ball. Wasn't the case. He was very clear in his thought process, didn't really complicate it. Stuck to his strength. Even at the back end, you see the guys who actually use the slower bouncers well, be it Arshdeep or Siraj. were able to contain the batters. Harshit maybe missed that trick a little bit in that back end, but both these bowlers were able to stay with the game. But Siraj not doing his usual role,
Yeah.
but yet adapting nicely and showing all his experience.
The last time he did not open the bowling for India was that World Cup final in Ahmedabad. It's been 2 years. He clearly enjoys bowling with the new ball. But Ajinkya, today that plan seemed to work really well. Opening with Arshdeep and Harshit, India were able to stop the run scoring and the wickets came as well.
I think that was a perfect plan. Arshdeep can swing the ball, as I said earlier, that both ways. Harshit again doing really well. He has the knack of picking wickets. First couple of overs he always picks up wickets. Siraj, I thought, can adapt to the conditions anywhere. So he can bowl with the new ball. He can come up, bowl first change and bowl with the older ball as well. So I thought the way they went with about Arshdeep and Harshit Rana with the new ball was a great move. Siraj, really happy for him. The way he bowled, 10 overs, 43 run, 1 wicket. Just want to mention one point from captain's point of view. I feel you got to read the phases of the game. Sometimes bringing your spinner early, especially if you are bowling first, there's a dampness in the wicket. If you can just get the spinner on, after 10 over, just to see if there is purchase for the spinners, you can anytime stop him and bring him later. But I think getting a spinner on, get him into the game was key. But as he said, Siraj was pick of the bowlers, 43 runs, 10 overs on a smaller ground.
Yeah.
Was a great effort.
Still very early days in Shubman Gill's career as captain. At what point in this captaincy evolution cycle do you start getting these little nuances of captaincy, this point that you mentioned? Did you get the impression that he went in with a certain plan and perhaps stuck to it? Or was bowling Jadeja late or bowling Nitish Kumar more? Was that an afterthought? You reckon he went in with that one set plan and stuck to it?
See, everyone's point of view, everyone captain's mindset is completely different. I mean, he's as and when he's go about his captainship, especially in this format, he will learn from whatever errors he's been making. But again, it's a learning process. As a captain, it's important to have open mind, which I feel Shubman has. He likes to talk to players, learn from everyone, and then keep that mind open. I feel still early days for him as a captain, but from a captain's point of view, as I said, you got to be a little bit more proactive. When things are going really well, you tend to go with your bowlers who are doing well. But if you can think 10, 15 overs ahead, what can happen? That's when I said basically bringing the spinner on, could have been slightly different.
Zach, it's easier said than done, right? I mean, at least us, you guys have played, of course. People like me who've watched it from a certain distance perhaps tend to often have the opinion that captains should never be reactive. As he said, they should be proactive. How tough or easy is it for a captain to say, this could happen, let me make this move instead of that?
Look, I mean, you learn through trial and error, isn't it? There's no set way of approaching that. What is important for any captain to have the pulse of the game, but the second part is back your instinct as well. So it's never a straightforward thinking.
Yeah.
You got to mix everything together and then make that decision. But back your decision and back your instinct is something which you can work towards.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a game where it's not going to be a perfect game all the time.
Yeah.
But through various situations, you create your own formula that, okay, in this situation, I'm going to approach it this way. Like today's game is a classic example, where you wanted to be more aggressive and be more proactive. It's actually a good sign because you are desperate for creating wicket. You're thinking positive.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't go your way, it can open up the game at the back end.
Yeah.
So at 35 over mark, you knew that your main bowlers, your pacers, they just had 9 overs left, and your 6 overs are to be completed between Nitish, Ravindra Jadeja, and Kuldeep. Now that is not an ideal scenario for you. So you got to find that balance. And how you would have created that balance is by bringing spinners early. That's what Ajinkya is saying. It's just that he went with the game thinking at that stage, if I get a wicket, then anyone can do the job. I can put the squeeze on. When you've taken 2 early wickets, in the first 2 overs, there were 2 wickets down. And then the batters had enough time to consolidate. The ideal time for any captain to squeeze in overs of a part-timer is, when the wicket has fallen and then you just continue with that. But you got to be quick to understand also when to pull that guy out.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the previous game was playing on his mind a bit too much, where he underused Nitish in that game, where he went in with the mindset that, okay, I'll use him more, and he just kind of overcompensated, which can happen. It's still early days for him. But you just got to go with the game, figure out your style of captaincy, and then every game have that, okay, plan A, plan B, plan C, but you're also keeping the moving dynamics of how the game is unfolding, and then back your instincts to take the decision.
And he's got two very successful captains on the field to talk to as well. Ajinkya, is there room for Gill to be a little bit more adventurous, take a few more risks, maybe gamble a little bit with his selection?
See, I think he will learn along the way. At this moment, as I said, still early days in his captainship career. He's still looking to settle down with the team, with his team. Every captain has their own ideas of how team should go about it. So I feel it's still early days for Shubman Gill to basically to find out what's his style. See, doing a captainship in shorter format or in IPL is completely different. But ODI format, I feel you got to be more proactive. I don't want him to change too many things now. Just go with the flow, but try and learn from his errors and take every game. Just be practical. Don't be emotional. As a captain, it's really important to be practical. Think about the larger picture, about the team. Don't be emotional.
Right, and since you are India captain, it's a tough job. It is perhaps the toughest job in world cricket. We've looked at numbers. The Cricbuzz team has their eagle eyes on all that's happening. They look at different phases. We've looked at the Shubman Gill captaincy era. Take a look at how India's batting approach has changed. Ajinkya and Zach, I'd like you to weigh in on this as well. Since that 2025 Australia series, which is of course the start of the Gill era, India's run rate has gone down. This is of course with the bat. The average has also gone down. The boundary percentage number isn't looking great either. Much higher dot ball percentage. Do you allow Shubman Gill, the captain batter or the batter captain, enough and more time to figure his way? Is it unfair to compare him to Rohit's batting approach as captain? How do you look at this?
Well, it depends on what brand of cricket you want to play. That's number one. These numbers for sure, telling you a story that the approach in the first 10 overs is definitely been on the slower side a little bit. But what is important in a ODI format is that the top four batter, whoever is in, if you've taken time in the middle, you got to make sure that you reach that 3-figure mark. Then it's about the set batter continuing and the strike rate improves. You don't have to go that far. You can just look at today's innings or the previous game. When New Zealand batters were batting, first two blocks of 10 overs was slow, but they made it up for the next three. So that's how the game goes. There is nothing wrong about having that kind of approach. But what follows, where you're going to make that shift, is it going to be the middle phase where you're going to be aggressive? It's the formula which you're talking about, is the brand of cricket which you're talking about, which you want to play. And if this is how they're going to approach it, where, the first block of 10 overs is going to be slightly on the cautious side. But the next block and the block after that, you need to see that urgency. You need to see that tempo which is required for you to get to the above par total.
What's the brand of cricket you want to see India play?
I would love to see the brand of cricket India was playing during 2023 World Cup, especially when Rohit was the captain. See, every captain has a different method, and every captain wants his team to follow his method. I thought Rohit wanted team to play that kind of cricket, where he also as a batter. He started off. He was playing fearless cricket. He was playing with freedom. Again, now he is not the captain. Probably Shubman Gill wants team to play in a different fashion, which we've been seeing right now. In ODI cricket, I always feel that whatever brand of cricket you want to play, as Zagbhai rightly mentioned, top 3-4 guys, if they are in, they got to get the big score on the board. If you play 10 overs cautiously, make sure next 15-20 overs you are actually capitalized. And if you are set, 30 overs till 30-35 overs, make it count, make a big score individually, and that eventually benefit the team overall after 50th over. So every captain has their own style.
Well, 338 to chase, and India will look at their man in form, KL Rahul, 100 and Wayne in that second ODI. India went as far as 284. KL Rahul, Ajinkya, very much in the Rahane mold, or from the yesteryears in the Rahul Dravid mode. he's in a sense old school and yet seems to have different gears as well. What do you make of KL Rahul, the ODI batter, and his ability to not just soak up pressure but change gears at will?
I think it's great to have ability like that. Watching KL Rahul batting at different positions, especially in ODI. But maybe a year or something, he's been batting at that 5 or 6 number, which has been doing really well. What I liked about KL Rahul is the adaptability. Whichever number he goes and bat, he always thinks about the team. If team wants him to bat in a certain fashion, like up the ante, up the strike rate, he will do that. If team is basically 50 for 3, 70 for 3, he'll rotate the strike, he'll take the game deep, and then later on, take on the bowler. So I think it's great to have a player like KL Rahul in your team. You know that he can bat at any number. If something happens to the top players, as in the top 3, he can actually open the innings or bat at number 3 as well. So that's really great. I remember the conversation which we had again with KL Rahul in 2018, where we had that 100-run partnership oval test match. So the conversation always about build the partnership. Just tire the bowlers. Play a session at a time. Probably think about 10-run partnership, 15-run partnership. So stay in the moment. So he looks really calm. He's very composed when he's batting, and the most important thing, he's clear about his thinking. Very clear about his batting method as well. So that's the conversation I remember with him.
What can India do with KL Rahul's batting position? Because in that first ODI, I think he came into bat in the 41st, 42nd over at number 6 in that last game. Much earlier in the 22nd over. What's his ideal batting number in one-day cricket? Does he have the game to come in and go bang, bang, first ball at number 6, which is a role perhaps better suited to Hardik? Or do you want to see him in at 5, where he has the time to sort of get his bearings right, find that rhythm, and then go big towards the end?
Well, at number 5 and number 6, that position is very dynamic in nature, isn't it? So depending on how the top order has done, how you're flaring up in that particular game decides your approach as well. Ideally, yeah, he will prefer number 5. If everything is going the way it's going, say number 5 walking in to bat when 3 wickets are down. Usually, if it's around 30 overs, you still have 20 overs to make the play. You can get yourself in and then look to attack. So that is the ideal kind of scenario for KL. But if the game has moved from there and you're talking about 35, 37 over mark, then you will need more power. Then you can have someone else going ahead of him as a tactical approach at that stage.
Sure.
But if you're just asking me about the stability in approach, then maybe number 5 is something which is going to work out very well for him. If you don't have the left-hander, I think one big factor in deciding his batting order has been the promotion of a left-hander up the order. If you see, is predominantly the right-hand batting order for the Indian team, and tactically at times he's getting pushed down to make way for a left-hander in between. Aksar was doing that. Maybe in today's game you might see Jadeja. He's been also doing that. So if you don't have a left-hander in the top order, that might affect his batting position. But if that is not a concern, then I think number 5 will be ideal position for him.
Yeah, maybe that's a cue for Tilak Verma to sort out his injury and get fit and perhaps knock on the doors of the ODI team as well. In about a month and a half or 2 from now, the Delhi Capitals fans will be hoping that KL Rahul gets going and scores the big run straight away. What about the Pretoria Capitals being coached by our very own Saurav Ganguly? Let's find out where that team is on that SA20 points table. Right up there, the Pretoria Capitals. 3 teams have qualified already. The Sunrisers, Eastern Cape, the Pearl Royals and the Pretoria Capitals have qualified. They have the Q next to their name. 1 spot up for grabs, gentlemen. This one's for the both of you. Who do you see going through to that playoff? It's a tricky one.
That's quite a open-ended table, isn't it? The last team still not qualified, so I think the last game for JSK is going to be a crucial one. And looking at how the table is stacked, it's basically a not overly complicated scenario and situation for them. Looking at the qualification, isn't it? If you're just telling your team that okay, just go play good cricket, win the game, and you're through. You're not dependent on the net run rate and all the moving dynamics which you have to keep an eye on while you're playing the game. So I think, JSK will be thinking like that. DSG also have done decently well, so they'll be hoping that, okay, another bad game for JSK and they're through, because MI Cape Town, I think, is an uphill task for them. They're at the bottom of the table. Net run rate also not favoring them. So 1 game to go. With the bonus point, maybe they'll get to 19. But along with the bonus point, they'll have to work on that net run rate as well, which can be a uphill ask.
The final, of course, will be in Cape Town. But then this whole playoffs format, which rewards teams that finish at 1 and 2, perhaps that's one reason why the Sunrisers Eastern Cape will want to win their last game, which is also against MI. So there's enough and more context to the 2 remaining games, one tonight and then the last one before the playoffs start. We've got to talk about individual performances. Ajinkya, there is Rutherford, Sherford Rutherford, who is their second highest run getter this season, traded from GT to MI. So it all seems to augur very well. A lot of the Mumbai Indians players are doing very well for different franchises at the SA20.
Yeah, I think he's a dangerous player. I have seen him bat now. Pretty dangerous. Take on the spinners, take on the fast bowlers, hit huge sixes, big sixes, and very attacking, bats with great intent. And he's, I think, scored 300 plus runs in this tournament, which has been amazing. So I think MI will be really happy to have him during the IPL.
David Miller is someone you've seen very closely. He has expressed his intentions of playing at that home World Cup in about 22 months from now. He seems to have done very well as well. What do you make of where he is in his career at this stage?
Well, I think, T20 is also evolving. So, so for a player of his caliber, it's about, keeping with how the game is evolving as well, at this stage in his career. Had a tough IPL, but South African league, he's been very consistent, captaining the side as well. So that adds up to more responsibility, taking played some good innings as well. I think, that 171 run knock of him getting the team home. Batting at a 200 plus strike rate. I think, that's something which really should have boosted his whole approach with the strike rate. He's someone who is always having that cluttered mind with regard to the strike rate, and wanting to do more by taking more responsibility. Wanting to bat up the order, but he's a class finisher. So it's about him just staying with the game and approaching with utmost simplicity.
There is another new name on the coaching circuit who has put his hand up, very new to the world of coaching, is doing very well. You might have known him closely, Mr. Saurav Ganguly, doing well as the head coach of the Pretoria Capitals. Saurav Ganguly is coach. How does that sound to you?
Oh, very exciting. I think, he'll be over the moon right now at the points table, making sure that, okay, his team is right up there. He's a very passionate guy, very good strategic thinker. Obviously, that comes naturally for him. Understanding the players, backing the right players, all that comes very naturally for Dada.
Right. More on Dada over the next few weeks with Khan Saab and Mr. Rahane hopefully will be with us over the next couple of weeks as well during the T20s. Right, 338 to chase, and if India do that, they will continue their record of never losing to New Zealand intact. Remember, India have never lost at the Holkar Stadium. They won 7 in a row. Clearly, the only way, Ajinkya, to go after this total is to, well, go after it right from the word go.
Absolutely. I think the power play is going to be really crucial. If Dew comes in again, batting second, Dew comes in, becomes really easy to chase down the target. Small ground. I think what India needs to focus is basically go there with the positive intent, especially first 10 overs. That's what we've been used to see till 2023 World Cup. I want Rohit and Shubman to go out there and try to dominate New Zealand bowlers. Take that positive step and then take the game on from there.
The next time Indian fans get to watch Roh and Co in India colours will be about 6 months later. There'll be a 3-match ODI series in England against England, and so those two icons, those two titans will be a little more perhaps geared up as well to go big tonight.
Well, I don't think they will be thinking that far ahead. They're just focused on the game right now. But look, 337, 38 to get, there's always going to be that scoreboard pressure. So that is something which right now Indian team will be facing as they chase down this total. So that makes the game tricky for sure. It's not going to be an easy chase. It's a series decider. We got a good game in hand. If India is able to chase down this total, it will be a special one.
Right, gentlemen, just enough time for us to get your predictions. You came very close to
Yeah.
registering your first ever win. Wasn't to be, but predictions. First 10 overs.
65.
Okay, cautious. Okay.
45.
Only.
Slow start.
Yeah, that's because Zachary Fox and Kyle Jamieson have bowled really well in the first 2 ODIs. I'm going to go big. 80 in the first 10. Let's find out what happens. Enjoy the first 15 overs and see us again on Cricbuzz Combox after 15. Bye-bye.